Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, the analytics tell me I got to tell you this right now. There's a subscribe button down there on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that to stay up to date and in the know with the latest marine tip, techs, and trends. We also have our daily build blogs in there. We got a whole lot of other cool stuff. Plus, hey, you got me every Sunday, 10 a.m., doing another episode of Sundays with Sully. All right, that's out of the way. What are we talking about today? Well, we're going to do a little refresher on NMEA, or N2K. What is NMEA? That's National Marine Electronics Association. N2K, that was a protocol they came out with, well, they intended to have in place 22 years ago for the year 2000. It's what we're still using today after it was implemented on a slow rollout there, but I kind of want to go over some of the basics of this. Maybe you got new electronics for your boat, or you got something build progress going on this winter, a little do-it-yourself. NMEA makes it very easy, but it also makes it very easy to screw it up. So let's just go over some real quick fundamental basics. You have NMEA tees, like you see here. This one's actually got what we call a drop off of our backbone. So you can take these tees and you can string these guys all up just like this. If for some god-awful reason you decide that this is the way you're going to do it, make sure you use every one of these screw holes right there to secure this. If you just send it here and here, this thing's going to go like this. We're going to have a failure point, and you are going to be paying someone like me to come on board your boat and troubleshoot NMEA issues, trying to figure out the source of the problem, and then we're going to come in and see this line of tees and go, that's your problem. Garmin, Navtronics, numerous other companies make these where they have 4 drops on them right there so we don't have to string them together. So if you're going to have multiple drops onto your NMEA network, make sure you go with a 4-way. If you have to go with these tees, make sure you're sending screws into every one of them, holding them in place. So that covers the tees. Now we got to talk about the backbone. That's how everything is transferring up and down the network. Think of it in very simple terms. It's plumbing, guys. We have here, we've got a terminator on one end, and we have a terminator on this end. So when we go and we slide these guys together right here like so, and we push those together, we now have a NMEA network, and it is capped, meaning think of it in plumbing sense, nothing is getting out on either end. The data is staying in there. So let's just say, just to make this a little easier to understand, we go ahead, we get these all screwed in. You can see this yellow cable right here. This is our power cable for this. Now, NMEA gets 12 volts. Yes, you can do 14.4, but 12 volts is what NMEA is going to run from. And NMEA, one of the things that we need to do when we're setting these things up properly is make sure we have a balanced load. That means you want to interject the power, the 12 volt source, as close to the middle of your NMEA network, depending on how you've got this up into a fly bridge and radar arch and a lower helm. You want to find that midpoint, or as close as practicable, to interject your 12 volt into that. So very simple. You use the yellow cable. That's going to be your power cable for the NMEA network. We put that in there. We've got this guy here. And now we go into the back of our display right here, and you're going to see we have another NMEA port. Very easy. These things are all slotted, male, female. Little pro tip when you're running, make sure when you run these cables, you're running the right end. More than once I've been guilty of having to pull the cable back out and flip it around because I forgot to just look and see what gender it was. So go in, make sure it comes in here, and you're going to look on anything that is NMEA 2000 approved. You're going to see a NMEA 2000 sticker on there. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that on there, but there's a NMEA 2000 sticker, and then it's going to say LEN7. In that case, this is the load equivalent, and it is 7. That's their unit of measurement they have. You guys can really go down a deeper hole into that. But what you need to know is, again, the balanced load. You want to make sure you have a fair amount of LEN on both sides of that network. But again, simple as this. We go ahead, we look. This is indexed on here. The actual plug itself actually is indexed. So this is a very simple, don't go trying to spin the thing around, guys. You can break the pins. So just go ahead, make sure they're lined right up. It drops in. We screw it in. Look at that. It's going to come to life for us right there because we have our power. That's the only way this thing gets power. You don't have to run separate power, which is kind of the beauty of NMEA. We can do all of these things, and we can power up these smaller devices from that. So I realize that's a really abbreviated version of NMEA, guys, but that's at least hopefully enough to get you started and going down the right path if you are redoing your boat, putting in new electronics, or adding a NMEA system into your boat. Make sure you guys do it right the first time. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling your hair out and doing it a second time, because you can go ahead and you can put power in at the wrong side. You can make sure it's unbalanced. You can do all these different things. It'll still kind of work, but it's going to give you all kinds of fits. Just like if you have too many terminators in the system or not enough terminators in the system. There's all these little nuances to it, but this is just a real brief overview. Keep the power feed in the middle of the system. Make sure you've got a terminator on both ends. That's it. That's the simplest. I can break that down for you guys. You want to know more? You want me to dive deeper into one of these? Maybe a full NMEA layout and setup and what to do? Leave it down below in the comments, and maybe we'll do an upcoming episode of Sundays with Sully's on it. That's it. That's all I've got for this week. I don't know what we've got in store for next week, but tune in Sunday, 10 a.m. Give us a like, follow, subscribe, share, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. See whatever the hell we're up to, guys. Peace.